Greetings and welcome back to another episode of Gacha News. It's been 2 weeks that have been very quiet, with basically almost every Gacha game in existence having either a summer event, an anniversary event, a special event, or something that they announced 2 weeks ago, which we did an episode on, but that's why there's basically been nothing going on. But now that those 2 weeks are over, we are getting some very interesting things. So let's get right to it, even if it isn't much. So, first up is Zendazo Zero, and they finally announcing the next 2 characters, and unfortunately for me, these are 2 characters I've been waiting for a while now. It is Seed and Orphe. So Seed is the giant robot from Oboe Squad. Apparently they decided to go with, let's make her a cute girl inside the giant robot, which we kind of saw coming, if we're perfectly honest. But hey, nobody says no to a cute girl inside a giant mech. Now the interesting thing about her is she's very childlike. She's very innocent in that case. If you recall, way back during one of the original Oboe Squad missions, it is mentioned that Seed one time took Soldier 11's goggles and somebody escaped and pretended to fly around like a superhero. So yeah, she is pretty innocent like that. But then, of course, we're also getting Orphe and Magus because it is a 2-for-1 combo. So just to make it clear, Orphe is the actual girl herself, and Magus is this sentient mechanical serpent thing. Now, the interesting thing about both of them is that we have, if we could put it one time, we can see that Orphe is a fire attacker, and Seed is an electric attacker. So Oboe Squad now has 3 attackers and 1 stunner in Trigger. So I'm hoping that at least one of them is an off-field DPSer similar to Pokra, only instead of building up stun damage, they focus on dealing damage. That way we can run both Soldier 11, Trigger, and either Orphe or Magus, depending on which one we need. If you need to do lightning damage, you just replace Soldier 11 with Silver Soldier Ambi. Even though she's technically not a Oboe Squad, she works very well with them. But yeah, these are the characters that are coming up, and it's very troublesome for me. But we're not done yet, because currently they're in the summer event when you when you go around fixing a hotel. A particular character that people have been waiting for since the launch of the game has finally shown their in-game model. And let me get that little, let's see, where is it here? ZZZ. And we are talking about the character whose name has not been mentioned yet in-game, but who we have been waiting for a long time. And that is the character known as Ramiel. It's the idol schoolgirl with the backpack. Yes, we are finally getting the idol trio. Now, we don't know if this is her actual name. The name that I am telling you with, which is, one second here, I had in another window. The name that we know her as, which is Ramiel Chinatsu, or Chinatsu Ramiel, depending on where you live. Those are the names that were provided when these images were first found. And we don't know much about it, but I'm going to show you her character sheet that was found on the internet quite a while back. Back then, we imagined her to be a bit of an angry schoolgirl, but within the story, she's actually quite shy and only really opens up once Astra, that you can see in the screenshot, starts talking about music, which is very important. Well, not important, but interesting for an idol. But that means that we are also going to get her 2 friends. First, we're going to get the android girl Yohiel Yutani, which is an android that, from what we can see, creates a holographic image of a human idol around herself, so that nobody knows she's a robot of some sort. I have a long-standing theory that a long time ago, inside the HIA, we'd helped somebody that was talking through a bamboo to get their intelligent construct companion out from a loop that they were stuck in within the HIA. I have a feeling that that was Yutane here, but that is a completely wild theory with no basis in reality. And lastly, we have their last friend, which is Sariel Rokudu, who, from what we can tell, is probably going to be either a physical DPS or a physical stunner. This goes back all the way back to the leaks of these images, where we were told by the anonymous leaker that Sariel was going to be a physical DPS. I believe Chinatsu was going to be an ice anomaly or ice DPS, and I believe Yutani was going to be an Ether Anomaly or Ether Support. So yeah, these three are finally going to be in the game. I hope they are not after Orphe and Magus, because that puts me on a very, very tight resource schedule. And yeah, that's going to be very painful for me if that turns out to be true. But finally, moving on. So Girls Frontline 2 is having their, well, the small event for Kyuha, I believe it. I believe that's her name. That's her right there. I don't know how that classifies as a top, but that is just how she is. She is a fire DPS damage dealer where you want to shoot her first during your turn. She puts a debuff on the target that every time they take fire damage, it goes up in stacks. And at maximum stacks, or at as high as you can go, if you get her to V6, which is not recommended, it blows up and deals a tremendous amount of damage. So yeah, I thought about getting her, but my resources are still very low from getting both Springfield V2 and the parry, along with Parry's weapon. So I'm not going to pull on her. This is also going to call back to the announcement of this event, where they say that after Kyuha, I believe was wrong, we are going to get another Hydro Doll and then an Electric Doll. Now, this Electric Doll is what I'm most interested in, because Lena, who I've been waiting for since I started playing, is also electric, along with Lena, who's her sister, not sister. So yeah, this event is currently going on. Oh, as always, free resources, free stuff. And yeah, that's really all there is to it. And lastly, on Arknights, the event for living... What is it? Such as the joy of our reunion, the Sui event is still ongoing. This week, the EX stages were unlocked. I was able to clear all except the final EX challenge stage with the Sui siblings and or Yan operators, which is pretty nice. I did unfortunately had to look up a guide on how to beat the challenge mode for EX8. But hey, it's a lot better than the last two events I've been, where I haven't been able to play the Sui siblings in them because they just don't have the tools to deal with stuff in them. But yeah, as far as news goes, or Gacha game news goes for this week, that is basically it. Hopefully we get some new news next week, and well, yeah. So anyway, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.